I can still hear Chris talking. Good morning, I'm Eric Kennedy. I'm the Harlingen Area Education Foundation president this year. And I feel lucky to be here. What a great event. I feel lucky to be a part of this organization and excited about the partnership that's created here. And thank you so much for the contribution you've given to the students here at HCISD. For the invocation, if I could have Pastor J.J. Wicke please come up with First United Methodist Church. Please stand.
If you'll pray with me, please. Gracious and glorious God, we give you thanks for this morning, for this time that we can gather together for the work of the Harlingen Area Education Foundation, for the ways in which we can support our students here in the Harlingen area, that they might continue to grow in knowledge, to be the people that you've called them to be, sharing gifts and talents with our world, that it might be a place of love. God, we thank you for all the different sponsors, the folks coming together, that we have one goal, and that's to love our community and love our students. And so may we do that to the best of our ability. God, we thank you for the food, the hands that prepared it. Bless our time and our conversation this day. We especially lift up the leadership of the school district, especially this day, Dr. Cavazos, as he shares with us. We love you, we thank you. It's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing. At this time, I'd like for the Harlingen High School Army JROTC to present the colors and Ms. Gabby Garza to sing the national anthem. First, I would like to recognize our key sponsor. Everyone at Frost Bank, you mind standing and being recognized. Especially Raymond Jenkins. Thank you. Mr. Jenkins is alumni from Harlingen High. At this time, I'd like for all of our elected officials to please stand and be recognized. Thank you for your contribution, your participation in supporting the students here. Now I'd like for the HCISD Board of Trustees to please stand and be recognized. If you sit on an advisory council for the School of Health Professions or the Construction Council or the MACA or anyone of that nature, please stand now and be recognized. Thank you. If you'll hold your applause to the end, if I could now have the Harlingen Area Education Foundation Board, please stand as everybody at once, and I'm going to read everybody out. Vice President, Belinda Cavasso Zapata. Treasurer, Anita Boswell. Secretary, Monica Candenoza. Social Media, Leti Romero. Website, Janine Campbell. Scholarship Chair, Lucy Cardenas. Event Coordinator, Maru de la Paz. Marketing Media Promotions, Pamela Leverett. Events, Francisco Castellanos. Mike Garza and Ernesto Verial. Please stand. So there's a lot of hard work that goes into an event like this, and I really, really appreciate the Harlingen Education Foundation Board. Everybody contributed to that. Especially, I wanted to thank Anita Boswell and Belinda Cavasso Zapata. So I was at a school board meeting at HCISD the other day, and they were recognizing the hateful organization. And a friend of mine afterwards said, listen, I grew up here, I went to school here, I graduated from here, my kids graduated from here, my kids are going to school here, and what is hate, right? So, I told him, I said, the Harlingen Area Education Foundation is really there to connect private industry with the students at HCISD. And the concept behind that is to provide the resources for our kids, our students, so that when they graduate, they're accredited so that they can go directly into the workforce. So the Partners in Education Luncheon is really to educate everybody in here about that connection and how you can give back to the school district and the students here to make all of our children better off when they go into the workforce. So, for example, with Small Glass, we do a lot of work for UT Systems and for A&M Systems, and the leadership there said, Eric, we have a shortage of craft workforce in South Texas. We have a shortage of craft workforce across the nation, but specifically in South Texas, and what are you going to do about it to fix this? And so, we set up a committee, and we had a lot of discussions about all the things we're going to do, and we talked for about 7 months, and all the dreams and aspirations of all these different folks involved. And then Dr. Cavazos pulled me aside, and he said, Eric, I appreciate it, but we're done talking. He said, we're going to take action. We're going to make this happen. We're going to set up these academies. We're going to get our students accredited. When they come out into the workforce, they're going to be ready to go to work. And so we've done that. And I said, oh, great, how can I help? And so we've set up summer camps. We brought in folks like Central Air Heating and ROFA and all these folks to help teach these students and get them interested at a young age, in 7th grade, about the opportunities that are there for them. Because this story is close to me because we're an employee-owned company, and eventually we're going to hand off the company to the next generation. And our CEO currently graduated from Harlingen High. And he started his own company doing remodels and repairs and paid for his school going to TSDC. And then Joel went on to Southwest Texas and continued to work his own company and installing drywall and doing remodeling and those things while he went to Southwest Texas and got his degree and started a project, the library project in Southwest Texas, and has been with the company for almost 30 years now and is now CEO. So this vision, this program that Dr. Cavazos is setting up is really exactly that. It's setting up our students for success to give them the opportunities so that they have the accreditations they need for their future and for their careers. And that's why you're here, because you're providing that feedback in those partnerships. So with that, I'd now like to introduce the HCISD student and staff performers, directed by Mr. Ronnie Rios.
Football season starts next week. Hope you can make it out. But just in case, here's South High School band teacher Raul Liendo to kick it off with help from the Gutierrez Middle School drumline, Cano cheerleaders, and some real life Cardinal and Hawk football stars! HCISD added several new academies. We also adopted the theme, Be the Champion for Children, for our teachers. Please meet fourth grader at the Fine Arts Academy, the Lee Means Fine Arts Academy, Bianca Rios, as she brings our theme to life. We currently have two mariachis in our school district. Mariachi Los Cardenales from Harlingen High School and Mariachi Los Gavilanes from South. Here is All-State Choir 12th grader Hannah Rosenbaum representing Los Cardenales.
Ese relajo, esconde detrás las blancas chatitas.
Superintendent Dr. Cavazos quoted recently, "When you're surviving, you can't dream." Here's Katie Velasquez and Anne-Marie Bodine showing how dreams can become a reality. Even a million dreams.
Close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through a place we've been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, just promise you'll bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Now presenting Mary Kate Holder and John Duncan with a sneak preview of the beloved musical Mary Poppins and opening at the HCISD PAC November 1st. Hint, hint.
Where the smoke is all billowed and cold, between pavement and stars is the chimney sweet world, where there's hardly no day nor hardly no night. Things halfway in shadows and halfway in light. All the rooftops of London, ooh, what a sight! Where is a Mary Poppins?
There you are, Bert.
Here I am.
Have you packed your bags
Me
yet?
bags, I only need what's on me back.
Bert, please pack a change of socks for me.
Mary Poppins. Anything for you. All packed enough socks for 7 feet, huh?
Dear, come along now. We must be going. Our very first show is the 1st of November.
Where are we going again? Arlington?
Harlingen, Bert. Harlingen. It is very important to utilize your articulators.
Harlingen.
Very good. Now this is a very special performance. We must be tip-top.
Why is that, Mary?
Because Dr. Nolan Perez will be there.
Dr. Nolan Perez! Oh, good heavens, I'll pack me good socks then!
Oh, what a lovely view.
Best view in the world. and you get to see it. The stars, the birds, and the chimney sweeps. Nothing to beat it, eh? Now as the ladder of life has been strung, you might think the sweeps are almost rung. Though I spend me time in the ashes and smoke, in this old wide world there's no happier bloke. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chimney, a sweep is as lucky can be. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim charoo. Good luck will roll off when he shakes hands with you. Or blow me a kiss, but and that's lucky too. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim charoo. Come see Mary Poppins at the PAC. Them what sings chim chim charee chim charoo. Chim chimney chim chim charoo chim charoo.
Again, our theme, Be the Champion for Children, closes our show with some HCISD teachers and 9th grade sensation Aaron Blunt singing Carrie Underwood's The Champion!
I'll be the last one standing, 2 hands in the air, I'm a champion. You'll be looking up at me when it's over. I live for the battle, I'm a soldier. Yeah, I'm a fight like Rocky. Put your flag on your back like Ali. Yeah, I'm the greatest, I'm stronger. Hate my rules, can't lose, I'm a owner. Yeah, I've been working my whole life, and now it's do or die. Starting it,
Very cool. Another big round of applause for our student performers. Now I'd like to introduce our special guest, Commissioner Julian Alvarez. Commissioner Alvarez is the commissioner representing labor of the Texas Workforce Commission. Governor Greg Abbott reappointed him to a three-year commission on March 7, 2017. The commissioner representing labor represents the interests of Texas workers with respect to TWC services and ensures that their concerns are considered in all commission actions. Prior to the appointment, Commissioner Alvarez served as president and CEO of the Rio Grande Valley Partnership, fostering relationships and coordinating programs to advance regional economic development and employment opportunities. He also served as Texas Regional Director of the U.S. Senate and advised on legislative and policy issues related to South Texas. Prior to that, Alvarez served on the South Texas Drug Task Force as a state trooper for Texas Department of Public Safety. After his service with DPS, Alvarez inspired stewardship and leadership as the director of the College of Information for Texas State Technical College in Harlingen. Please help me welcome Commissioner Alvarez.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a great day to be in Harlingen, Texas, wouldn't you agree? It's always hard to follow a group like that. It's so motivating. As I walked in, I saw all the folks that were happy to just see one another. And what's more exciting is when you get to see the young men and women who are dressed up in their uniforms of the future, whether they're firemen, nursing assistants, whether they're dentists, construction workers, as mentioned earlier. What an exciting day. Let me tell you something, times are changing every day. And are we keeping up with the pace? You see, when Manny, Bella, and I were in high school, we used to walk around with our pagers. Remember those days, Manny? But you see, Manny was the cool kid because Manny had a battery at his pager and my dad couldn't afford one for mine. Ladies and gentlemen, technology is changing every day. And let me tell you, Dr. Cavazos, that's what I love about what you do in your school board. You're keeping up with those changes. You see, young adults right now are counting their steps with the watches they wear, or ordering movies from red boxes. You know, when we were younger, our emoji for call me back was this. And the music of our choice back then was Earth, Wind, and Fire. What happened to those times? Ladies and gentlemen, we have people that are in this room that are proactive and not reactive. Everything that I mentioned to you has been in the forefront of what Dr. Cavazos and his school board have been doing for years. But it wouldn't have been possible if it hadn't been for the partnerships that they've established with our working community. I need to remind you that Texas Workforce Commission cannot be successful without its partners. You see, the business community is very important to us. Dr. Cavazos is listening to what others like industry are saying. I was just at Shipley's Donuts last night. And you see, as a consumer, think of me as a customer. I'm going in there and I'm craving a chocolate-filled donut. Chocolate-filled donut. But all they have there is glaze, sprinkle, and one with the cherry filling. Not the chocolate. So what they've done is they're pushing a product on me, which I don't want. They're not listening to industry. See, Harlingen High School is kind of like the Whataburger effect, right? Like I know when Bobby Munoz goes to Whataburger, he may not be sharing this with everybody, but he always has the double meat, grilled onions, cheese, bacon, and he's got to have jalapenos to top it off. He's customized what the customers wanted. And you see, that's what our Cavazos does. He's customized what industry needs. It is important to continue that philosophy and that push. I will tell you that what you have done here needs to be replicated in other parts of the state. The fact that you have a business community here, the fact that you have a congressional office here, United States Senate, higher ed, ISDs, You have the mayor here. And yes, Nolan Bettis isn't here. You have partners here. They're here to work. What Harlingen has done and lived by this has become proactive. Many times I have called Dr. Cavazos about advice. Yes, I have called you, Dr. Cavazos, for advice. Let's just talk about some of the things that have actually happened as a result of us talking. Do you know that right now, that there was a House bill that was passed last session that allows computer coding to be taught in the schools for credit? Did you know that? Before it was just, you could take it as an elective. Ladies and gentlemen, people like Art Cavazos want people in STEM-related programs to advance. You see, Manny Bella and I, our grandparents just lived 2 blocks from here. And so the women that we saw that had these professions were either housemaids, they worked at the cannery, remember that, Manny? Or they worked at the college the campus cafeteria. And the only guy that I know that wore a suit on North H was the local mortician. And I didn't want to be him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for what you do. The investment that you make. I will tell you that as I travel the state, I always talk about the great things that are happening in Harlingen. Who else has 3 LNG companies that are going to be planted in their backyard? Who else someday, when Art Cavazos gets up here, says, by the way, everyone, we're going to step outside because we're going to see a space launch in 15 minutes. People would die to have what you have here and the resources. I ask you to continue supporting Harlingen ISD, the folks at TSTC, where I started my professional career. Support those folks. You as educators and you in the business community, Joe Stone, perfect example, who graduated with me, who was a surfer. Joe Stone went to TSTI, continued his education, and has done well, but he's never forgotten where he's come from. He continues to support this area. There are many people from Harlingen that have done well. I was blessed in 2016 to be appointed by the governor to not just represent the great state of Texas, but the employees, the hardworking 13.9 million employees that I represent. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for making Texas so strong, and we look forward to the great success. And Dr. Cavazos, my hat's off to you and your board for continuing to do a great job. And by the way, I was told that I had to wear green and red today so I wouldn't offend the football team. So you want to know why I look like a Christmas ornament? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Alvarez. This isn't really on the script, but I just want to say that I feel lucky that Dr. Cavazos is our superintendent. So, thank you. So this is the short introduction for Dr. Cavazos. Changing the landscape of education and the opportunities that are provided to students, Harlingen HCISD Superintendent Dr. Art Cavazos is a nationally recognized leader with almost 30 years of experience in education. Since being named the HCISD Superintendent in November of 2013, he was awarded the 2014 National and State Distinguished School Administrators Award by the American and Texas Association of School Librarians for his efforts to advance library and literacy services. In November 2014, it was announced that he was selected by the U.S. Department of Education as one of the 100 top school leaders from across America and was invited to participate in the first ever National Connect Ed Superintendent Summit in the White House. Texas Governor Greg Abbott recently appointed Dr. Cavazos to serve on the State Board for Educator Certification. Dr. Cavazos is a Valley native who grew up in the fields of South Texas and worked his way through school to eventually attain his doctorate degree from the University of Texas. He has been married to Dr. Sharon Cavazos for over 20 years and has 2 sons, Christopher and Matthew. Dr. Cavazos.
Just a couple of corrections and then we'll get started. My wife has been married to me for... Is she here? No? Okay, so we can continue. So Julian said about the emoji call back, or what was he saying? This? My mother would stand on the porch and call us back. Often with a belt in her hand. So we all got back real quick. And Manny Vela, I thought he was going to say you were the only one wearing a suit, but he said the mortician. We had a friend that was a mortician, and he'd come by the house and he'd say, I'm running a 2-for-1 special I will say I'm honored to serve as the superintendent of schools, and I wasn't speaking about Julian Alvarez. We honor the absent in HCISD. Welcome back, sir. And you don't look like an ornament. Thanks to the performers. Let's give it up for the students who are still coherent behind the curtain. My friends from Frost Bank gave me advice as I was getting ready to stand up and deliver this incredible speech. They said after that performance, just go up there and say thank you. They didn't laugh. I think they were serious. Your attendance and sponsorship of this event exemplifies the support HCISD and our students have. The future of our community, state, and country is dependent on all of us to ensure our students do well. All the students you saw today, and many that we serve in HCISD, over 18,500, will be our future CEOs of Frost Bank, just kidding, future Manny Velas, future Brenda Ivories, future doctors and nurses, because we're creating some incredible pathways to that. Notice I didn't say superintendent. I have to work. So that was on the last on the list to create that pathway. Let's move on. The reality is they're going to take care of us as we're taking care of them. And so it'll be a sad day if one day we're in need of them and they do not understand the value of a partnership. And so I encourage us all to embrace this idea of partnership and giving back. I want to start by thanking the Board of Trustees who entrust the work on our staff to lead the best school district in the state of Texas. I'd like my board to please stand and be recognized for the incredible work they do. And yes, that's Hilario Jaimes. It was 2 elections to get it. Oh, just kidding. Let's move on. So, I am going to step back a little bit because I'm going to be evaluating here in a few weeks. So I'd appreciate the applause at the right time. Our Board of Trustees, there's a saying, there's a quote by Colin Powell that says, there's no secret to success. It's the result of preparation. And that's what they do. They prepare the system to transform us and to ensure that we're meeting the needs of today's kids, not those when we were in school. And so our foundation, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what we are as a school district for those of you that might not know. We believe in educating the whole child. Our goal is to ensure students are college, career, and community ready. Because at the end of the day, they will come into our community and be part of us. It's interesting. There are times I am somewhere in the state of Texas and I have kids, well, they're kids compared to me, that say, aren't you Mr. Cavazos? And if they call me Mr., I know it's from a long time ago, right? I said, was I your math teacher? I was learning. I don't know how good I was. They said, no, you were my counselor. Oh, you were worse. No. So you never know when you're going to cross paths with them, and in what area and at what time. Our goal is to ensure that if our kids are going to be community ready, that we recognize our reality. Our district is made up of 78 0.4% economically disadvantaged students. And so what does that mean? That there are times in their journey that they are in at-risk situations, because I believe that an at-risk child is as a result of an at-risk situation. That's not their destiny and their trajectory. That they may be in an at-risk situation that they need a champion, and there may not be one at home. It reminds me of the story when I received a call from the police department. And when they called me, I looked over to see if my wife was home. Oh, yes, she is. Okay, so it was, in other words, I was nervous about that. But anyway, so they called me and they said, you know, there was a tragic incident that occurred in our community, and I think you need to know because it may affect someone. I said, so what's going on? And so they said, you know, there was a family dispute, and the father reached a point where saw no out and no end, and took the mother's life and then took his own life. And it's quite tragic, and we're at the scene of the crime. And so I go to work that morning, because it was a late night call, only to find that there was a first and second grader at one of my schools who witnessed that incident. And so the fact of the matter is they left children behind. And I tell you this story because I'm honored that we have people in our community and people in our school system that jump into action when there's a need. My teachers, who were their teachers, attended the memorial service and the funeral and held the children in their laps as if they were their own. My principal and some of the teachers went down and wiped down the home and scrubbed the walls and the floors because they knew that grandma would have to walk back in and take over raising the children. And a few days later, they get a call from the grandmother and say, the evidence of the incident is seeping through the walls again. Can you come back? And they go back, and my principal is in his hands and knees, along with his staff, scrubbing down that home. That doesn't happen by chance. That happens because it's our community, it's our people, it's our kids, and they deserve the best. And that's what you all do. You all are partners with the school district and continue to give us the best. Economically disadvantaged students mean they have a little harder trajectory, but we can get them there. I was an economically disadvantaged student. We were raised in the fields of South Texas, and I remember my mother would say, you're gonna learn the value of $1. And we said, we're not slow learners, why do we have to keep going back? That's not on my notes, I just thought I'd throw that. I saw Julian falling asleep, I thought I'd throw that in. We're on our 5th year of our strategic plan, our 4th year of our strategic financial plan. We believe in Harlingen HCISD that we work the plan. We plan the work and we work the plan. And a lot of things that we're rolling out is because we plan the work and we're working the plan. You know, while the state accountability system is only one system of measuring success, it is a moment in time, and it is one test, and it is one multiple choice test. And the reality is kids don't go to their work site and take multiple choice tests. They have to know how to do a good day's work and do great work and communicate and collaborate. The district earned a solid B with an 87.4. We received the post-secondary readiness distinction. This district has not received that since the inception of this testing program. So give it up to HCISD and the students who earned that distinction. 3 years ago, collectively the campuses earned 72 distinctions. That means when compared to other similar campuses, they scored above the quartile, the first quartile. This year we earned 101 distinctions, and I'm very proud of the students for doing that and the staff. But we're better than a multiple choice test. And while that's important, and it's a good marker, and it sets us in a trajectory, I believe the 3 A's are more important. Giving kids access to the arts, to the academics, and the athletics. They need to stay involved and stay engaged. We have state and national winners in all categories. Last year, our Harlingen High School South Theater Program, One Act Play, won the state championship and brought home a state championship, the first state championship a team has brought to Harlingen HCISD. So give it up for those students. James Gracia, who was a lead actor, he did an incredible job and earned a lot of distinctions. And he's at NYU and doing extremely well. And I would go up to him and I said, James, I know you're going to be popular. Don't forget the superintendent. He was very kind, and he would look at, no, sir, no, Dr. Gracia, I would never forget you, and that kind of stuff. And I'd go to his teacher and say, is he acting? He's genuine. Okay, let's move on. We had the highest number of students passing the AP exam, the Advanced Placement exam, this past year. Our completion rate for students finishing high school and moving on was the highest it's ever been in HCISD at 95.2%. We celebrate that. What I'm most excited about, while that's important, I'm excited that we embed the 4 C's throughout our organization. We expect kids to have opportunities to effectively communicate with each other, to critical thinking, to think critically, to collaborate, and be creative. Those 4 C's, regardless of what the job market looks like, if they can do those 4 things, you'll want to hire them. Because we don't work in isolation. We have to collaborate, we have to think critically, we have to solve the world's problems, and we have to be able to communicate with each other. We don't have a very good communication system right now. Okay, let's move on. Abraham Lincoln said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. That's what we're doing. We're not leaving it to chance, and we need your help so that we can create our path. That is why this function is so important. We need our partners and everyone together to help us graduate our students, college, career, and community ready. I want to tell you a little bit about the elementary experience. While we do everything, that the state requires us, we're super proud that we have an incredibly strong phonics-based program that we partnered with a Houston-based program called NIHOuse. Our kids, we celebrate that 96% of our students enter kindergarten ready for kinder. 96%. 4 years ago, we were sitting at 60%. That's a big move, and those are the needles that have to move. If they have a strong start, they finish strong. Our second graders, we have a swimming program for them. We think that's important. Over the time that we've had the aquatic center, 5,000 kids have learned the basics of swimming. That's important. That's beyond the multiple choice test. We have programs at every one of our grade levels in elementary. We introduce kids to golf, to tennis, to gardening. In case they marry somebody, they throw them out. I'm not speaking from experience, I'm just telling you. They can plant their own food. I can't look over here, I'll look over here. We also have we have robotics and chess, but I want to tell you a little bit about the Little Innovators program. The Little Innovators program is similar to what we call our version of Shark Tank. And we have business people and community people that come and judge the projects of these kids. And their question is this: what do you want to solve? And how do you solve it? And they put a business plan together. Now, all the sharks are nice except Richard Galvan. Oh, he's here. Okay, so I want to point out Richard Galvan. He's an incredible partner to our school district. He started as an ambassador for learning at Rodriguez Elementary and wanted to learn more about HCISD and took it upon himself and said, I want to learn more. And from that moment, he has been a big champion for us here in Harlingen. So much so that he has sponsored the Little Innovator program, has judged. Now, I did see on his website that one of the projects that kids did, he patented. Really, Richard? Really? And that was the one you didn't invest in. That's not a good idea. Get out of here. I will tell you, now he's a partner with us at STEM Square Prep Academy, so thank you, Richard, for doing that. Give him a hand. We opened Leaning's Fine Arts Academy. There was a big demand for the arts. As you can tell, Mary Poppins, they even put it at the HCISD pack. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. You should do that for the HAVE program. I don't know. So that whole program is intended to get kids interested in the arts. We opened it, application process. We have now filled Lee Means Elementary because the demand is there, and we're studying whether we need to open a second one. Why do I say that? Because we need to change with the times. And now I want to speak about our secondary experience in HCISD. I talked to you about launching STEM Square Prep Academy. That's a middle school program that focuses on science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and a medical strand. And the reason we did that is because it is a segue to our medical high school or our early college high school, which we partner with UTRGV, and it's a fast track to an engineering program. And so those partners are critical for our kids, because when we were going to school, I remember my parents didn't know anything about college. They were not formally educated. They dropped my brother off at Pan American because he was the first one to attend, and they dropped him off at the gym. And they said, "That looks like the dorms." Really? And they said, "Just go in there and just act like you know what you're doing." And so he walks in with, that mixed match suitcases, right? He says, "I'm here for my dorm, sir. This is the gym." But what did that tell you? That if there's not a champion, my mother was our champion, but if there's not a champion, they're going to have to figure it out alone. Gone are those days. It's our responsibility to be champions for them. I will tell you about Harlingen School of Health Professions, and that's our model program. And if you can take something from this conversation, is this: we need you to partner like people have partnered with the Harlingen School of Health Professions. We knew we were in the health district. We knew that we had a medical need. We decided to design a program. We brought people together. They sit on advisory groups. They open their doors for practicum opportunities for kids. They let teachers do externships in their programs. They mentor the kids, and then they hire them. And so as you look at that trajectory, there's a lot of space there to be a partner. I want to highlight a few people in that program. Bonnie Villarreal. I knew it was Bonnie de la Rosa, but it's Bonnie Villarreal. Bonnie, let's everybody look at her, give her a hand. Manny Vela helped us not only design, but he walked with me to every middle school that helped recruit the legacy class. So Manny, I'm forever grateful to you. Give him a hand. Brenda Ivory has been there with us all the way, and so we really appreciate your partnership too. Give it up for Brenda, doing a great job for us. I will tell you, our partnerships are they're large. Bobby Muniz was one of the initial people that came to help us design the pharmacy lab there. And now he's one of our board members. The trajectory of what that partnership can do is incredible. So thank you, Bobby, and I'm forever grateful to you. So Bonnie Villarreal says, always reminds me, there's only, I'm a cardinal. And if you go to the yearbook, you're gonna find I was a very important cardinal. Right, Bonnie? Is that what you're telling me? That's what you wrote for me to say. So a little story about Bonnie Villarreal. I sent my 21-year-old, yes, I have a 21-year-old, that's your opportunity to say you're not that old, go ahead, I know. Sent my 21-year-old to see Bonnie, and he's on a medical path. He wants to be an anesthesiologist. And he says, Dad, on a third year of medical school, I'm gonna need to practice on somebody. I said, your mother has lived a long time. I mean, longer than me. But anyway, so talent for that. So I send Chris to Bonnie, and Bonnie, if you're a patient of Bonnie, she will go out of her way to explain what she's doing and why she's doing it, even if you're in pain, but we're not. So Chris goes there, and then he comes back, and I say, how do you go, Chris? I don't know, Dad. You know, she told me that the dental path is an important one too, and I might consider that. I said, what else did she tell you? Well, that I should really consider how I'm going to retire you and Mom, and how I'm going to support you. Thank you, Bonnie. Let's give it up for Bonnie. Yay! I knew I could count on you, Bonnie. You heard a little bit about our academies. And our academies are intended to bring pride, bring importance, bring value, and to ensure that the kids want a quality program where they end with a certification. We're super proud of our apprenticeship academy, which includes electrical program, welding, central, HVAC, and by the way, if your air goes out at home, you'll call and it doesn't matter what you pay. Oh no, you all are here. We care what we pay, sir. They've been partners. So we have an HVAC program. We have an automotive training academy. We've added a diesel program to that. I want to thank the city. We have an incredible firefighter academy with Chief Rubio. I saw him come in. Chief, let's give it up to him. Thank you so much for having the vision for that. Talk to you about the Health Science Academy. We have Public Service Academy. We just added EMT program. We bought an ambulance. Wow. All right, that's impressive. Dr. Noyola, my chief academic officer, she said, we're gonna do this right, so we bought an ambulance, we brought it down. It'll have the emblem of HCISD, kind of like this. So if that one shows up to pick you up, I'm just saying, they are in training, okay? But we are partnering with South Texas Emergency Care Service. I told the kids about the EMT program, and they said, sir, we got an ambulance, and it's really a simulation, right? The idea is to go back and forth to the different high schools, because we have different programs, and then take it to our elementary campuses so that they can see that we get to encourage kids to do well. And so I told the kids, I said, look, if you hear the superintendent went down, you all can come too, but don't get in the way. What do you mean? Don't worry. So, we have a Media Arts Communication Academy. We have a Veterinary Science Academy, and if I have vets in the room, we need a partner. They need 400 hours of service. And I tell you this because last year we graduated 42% of our senior class with some form of a certification above their high school diploma. So let's give it up for them. It's important to note that if we're going to put the kids on the path to success and we're going to give them all the opportunities possible, we need everyone's help. I think it's important that you hear from a couple of kids so that they tell you their story. And so the first one I'm going to introduce to you is actually by video because he's at the college, at the university. That's what my son says. I'm studying that, right? You know, do you have your kids on 360 where you can follow them? Anybody know about that? Raise your hand, you know. Okay, we found out our kid leaves his phone in his home. I'd like to introduce Colin Galloon. He began producing videos at the MACA, well, at HCISD as early as middle school. And I kid you not, this kid is going to be the next Steven Spielberg. He is incredible at what he does, and I'm super proud of him. Let's hear a little bit about him.
Hello HCISD, my name is Colin Galloon, recent alumnus of Luncheon High School South and incoming freshman to the University of North Texas this fall. I'll be working to acquire a major in public relations and a career in radio, television, and film. I wanted to speak about the extent that HCISD's programs had on me and other students, specifically the Media Arts and Communications Academy. Working at MACA, students use industry standard equipment and real-world clients to obtain invaluable knowledge and real-world experience. Specific experiences I was able to become directly involved with through the MACA were conducting interviews with Terry Fossum, leadership expert, television personality, and philanthropist, former Secretary of Defense and Director of Central Intelligence Robert Gates, and producing and directing portions of HCISD's 7th Annual Student Film Awards, of which I won a few myself. Not only did the involvement through MACA prepare my class as well as me for a career in radio, television, and film, we also earned a certification in Adobe Premiere, the industry standard for editing audio and video. I am eternally grateful for HCISD's involvement in career-specific learning, as it has been one of the most collaborative, informative, and creative learning experiences I have ever had the pleasure of being a part of, and I am eager to apply everything I have learned to reach my future goals and inspire others to pursue what they are passionate about, just as HCISD has done for me. Thank you.
I want to bring up Esmeralda, Lena, and Caitlin Grant. Coming up, ladies. Let's give them a big hand. They're not going to sing. A little bit about Esmeralda, and then I'm going to give her a chance to tell her story. Esmeralda found her passion in construction and is now working alongside Spyglass, and I'm super proud of her because oftentimes we don't know when that switch is going to turn on. And so I'm proud of her. She's one of our examples of what these apprenticeships and these academies can do.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Esmeralda Mena, also known as a welder or bus girl. I'm a graduate from Harlingen High School, and I'm attending TSCC, where I plan on graduating with my associate's degree in building construction technology. My journey into construction started when I was 5 years old. My parents would take me with them when they would work on remodeling our houses. All it took was for my mom to give me a small task of placing a nail into a piece of wood with a hammer. That's when I realized I really enjoyed working with my hands. Growing up, I found my interests in architecture and engineering. Of course, I was still young and exploring my options for my future. My freshman year and sophomore year of high school, I took engineering classes. Unfortunately, they did not fulfill my carpentry skills. I didn't like sitting behind a computer because I wanted to take a class where I could work more with my hands. My junior and senior year was when I started to weld. I really enjoyed that class because I learned from helping others build their projects for class or stock shows. After graduating from Harlingen High, Spyglass gave me the opportunity to work with them. I have worked on renovating Valley Baptist Medical Center in Harlingen, UTRGV Academic and Clinical Research Building in Harlingen. I'm currently working at the McAllen Medical Center project. Spyglass has taught me many new skills and has given me the opportunity to grow with them. The future goals I have for myself is graduating with my degree in building construction technology, and I plan on working my way up to become a superintendent for Spyglass. Hopefully in the future, I can start up my own construction company and help other young people out of high school just like myself. I will forever keep in mind the motto of Spyglass. We don't just build people, we build buildings. Thank you all for your time, and thank you for the teachers who taught me and molded me to the person I am today. Thank you.
I just heard superintendent over there. Come on, Esmeralda. You were handpicked. Come on. Caitlin.
Alrighty, well, my name is Caitlin Grant, and I just recently graduated in the Harlingen School of Health Professions Legacy class. And with that being said, I graduated with my certified medical assisting. Yay me. Thank you. But that would not have been possible without the help of Valley Baptist and Harlingen Medical Center. Because in the classroom setting, I was able to learn techniques and to learn terminology, but I actually internalized it being in the facilities and being able to see life begin and life end. While being at Harlingen Medical Center, I was in the ICU, and I was a part of very vulnerable times for many patients and their families, and just being able to connect with them while, some people were unfortunately very sick, and that was something that I had to learn and be able to connect with them and tell them that it's okay, and I'm here for you, and handing tissues, and that's really hard, especially for somebody as young as me, but that was something that I was able to learn and experience, which I'm very grateful for Harlingen Medical Center. While being at Valley Baptist, I worked in labor and delivery, and that's where I got to see life begin, and it's such a sacred moment in many women and men's lives. It was extraordinary, and so coming into the clinical experience, I had this idea that I was going to be a neonatologist, and I wanted to be a doctor, and that was my dream since I was in middle school. Well, while being in there and experiencing the experiences that I did, I realized that being a doctor was not for me. That's something that I didn't want for myself because I wanted that patient care and I wanted that bedside manner. So being in labor and delivery, I decided that I really wanted to be a labor and delivery, but I wanted to be a nurse. So now I'm currently going to go get my associates at TSCC and walk away debt-free, so therefore I can go to any nursing program of my choice and hopefully become a nurse practitioner or a labor and delivery nurse. But like I said, that would not have been possible if it wasn't for Harlingen Medical Center or Valley Baptist, so I'm very grateful for y'all.
Rita Pearson said, "Every child deserves a champion, an adult who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best they can possibly be." #champs. If you think about the word champs and you wonder, how can I get involved? You'll remember this. The C would stand for creating externships for our teachers so that they stay current in what they teach in the classrooms. The H is hire our students. When all else is equal, hire our students because they work hard. The A, advise our teachers and our students through internships for our students. Let them go into your businesses to understand how it works. And don't let them change their mind of what they want to do when they're paying for it, but rather when they're in our schools and they're exploring. Be part of the exploration. M stands for mentor our students. It's important to remember that we once had mentors, and we continue to have mentors throughout our paths. The P stands to participate in our work. Be part of us, because we need you, and we're forever grateful for what you've done now, but there's a lot of work to be done. And we recognize, and I recognize as your superintendent, that we're a very large business, and we're in the business of putting our kids in the front of the line of opportunities and not in the back of the line. We want our kids to access the American dream. The only way to do that is if we come together and help them. And finally, the S. Simply become part of the HCISD movement. There were many moments in time when we were creating this idea of the value of partnerships. And today marks a movement for HCISD, because you've come together and you say, we want to be a part of something. And I ask you to always remember that while we're here in our part of our journey, that life is short and time flies. And one day we will look back, and my greatest hopes as your superintendent is that our thoughts will be full of memories of what we did and not dreams of what we could have done. We have to take action. So I ask you to answer the call of action, because we can't do it alone. Let's support our students and create a movement in HCISD so that in turn it can be a state model and it can be replicated, and our kids will be the solvers of the problems in this world that we have not been able to solve. We're depending on them and they're depending on us. If you're interested in furthering your partnership with the district and are nominating a potential partner, there's cards at your table that you can fill out, or simply text me or send me an email. We thank you. We're forever grateful. I remain humbled and honored to serve as your superintendent of schools. And I want to thank you in advance. And remember, in our district, we reach, we aspire, and we dare to be, because we are HCISD. Thank you, guys.
So that concludes our event. We really appreciate everybody coming today. And if you need anything, or please fill out the paperwork if you'd like. If you'd like to become a member of HAIF and you'd like to be a part of the board as well, let us know that as well. Thank you for coming.